And we start with some overnight news where Albuquerque police are busy looking for someone at Chico and Garcia. It is near Copper and Eubank in the northeast part of town.
Yeah, police say just after midnight, an officer had a suspect take off from a vehicle. They called for K-9 units to help them do a yard-to-yard search. The helicopter was also overhead. The suspect was never found. They're still looking for that suspect. It isn't clear what the person is wanted for, but we'll keep you posted. Albuquerque's police academy wants to make changes after being criticized by the Department of Justice in its recent report.
The academy's director now wants to train cadets in a new way, saying it could save money and use the classrooms for better things. Albuquerque city councilors were at a meeting last night. They were looking at a 5-year plan for the city that includes putting more police academy classes online. Now, the idea was first brought up 5 years ago, but nothing happened. Well, now it's getting talked about again. And some councilors want to hold off on it to see how the city works with the U.S. Department of Justice.
A lot has changed over the past 14 months, and I support some training online, but I think we need to look at the consent decree that will be filed with the federal courts.
The police academy's online classes would cover things such as the use of force and constitutional law. The idea, we are told from the academy's director, is that cadets could apply what they learn online to one-on-one training in the classroom.
They got too comfortable and let safety slip. Then there was a radiation leak that became a whole lot worse than it should have been. That is the gist of a report out this week on the radiation leak at the waste isolation pilot plant in February. Federal investigators blame poor management, poor maintenance, and a lack of training and oversight for the leak. They say things were so slack that when alarms went off on Valentine's Day, it took 10 hours for workers to head to their shelters and even longer to get the Emergency Operations Center going.
And 13 hours and 20 minutes to man the Emergency Operations Center. Bottom line, they failed to believe the initial indications of the release.
WIP says it was a low-level leak. Nonetheless, the 21 workers who got contaminated should be okay. Investigators are still trying to find where the leak came from.
A federal judge has dealt what could be a big setback to the defense strategy of Governor Susana Martinez's former campaign manager, the man who was accused of intercepting her emails and lying about it. Yesterday, the judge denied Jamie Estrada's attorney's request to force prosecutors to turn over information about the Downs casino deal. Estrada's attorney says the emails could show Ms. Martinez and her administration have credibility issues, but the judge said the emails were irrelevant. Mr. Estrada is set to go on trial July 15th. Former New Mexico Governor Gary Johnson may make another run for president. The National Journal reports Mr. Johnson hopes to run for president in 2016. Remember, he was the Libertarian Party's presidential pick back in 2012. Mr. Johnson got less than 1% of the popular vote in the general election. That does amount to about 1.2 million votes, though. He tells the National Journal he would love to run as a Libertarian once again. And in this November's race for the U.S. Senate, incumbent Tom Udall has a lot more cash than any of his opponents. New reports just out show he raised $1 million in the first 3 months of this year and now has $3.1 million in the bank. No Democrats are running against him in the primary, so Senator Udall will face one of 2 Republicans in the November election, Alan Way, who has about $206,000, and David Clements with just $7,500.
2 former Sandia National Lab scientists have created a new test that would let men know if they are fertile in just 5 minutes. According to the Albuquerque Journal, the test is the first of its kind, and it allows men to track their fertility in the privacy of their own home. It could be on the market in 2015. New Mexicans and with Alzheimer's and other kinds of dementia may soon be able to get medical marijuana. Yesterday, the Program Advisory Board voted to recommend adding them on the list of conditions that qualify. The recommendation goes to the health secretary, who has the final authority. Supporters say medical marijuana could help dementia patients with sleep and other issues.
Remember the elderly man who went missing from Albuquerque for 3 days last weekend? Well, he is now back with his family and thanking those who helped find him. State police found Roger Houghton near the Rio Grande in a remote part of Socorro County. They figured out where Mr. Houghton was after a worker on a train saw him near his stranded car waving. Earlier this week, he was reunited with his daughter, who lives in Indiana.
We're so appreciative of what they've done, and that they immediately took everything seriously and put everyone out looking for him instead of waiting.
They did a great job finding him. Mr. Houghton's daughter bought her dad something he's never had before, a cell phone. He also plans to move closer to her. All right, you know, summer is just about here, particularly summer break, and kids are not the only ones who are getting out of school now.
A lot of APS parents are too, after going back to the classroom for a program called Parent University. This is the first year APS has had it, and in just a few hours, we'll get a report to see if it's working. News 13's Samantha McDonald reports.
We're just not the parents that just drop them off at school and let the teachers worry about them and go home about our day.
Stephanie Cedillo and Selena Raboni's kids go to Barcelona Elementary School in southeast Albuquerque. They are the first parents at their school to attend Parent University and test out the new program offered at 5 Albuquerque elementary schools. The parents attend monthly sessions to learn about APS and learn how to help their kids succeed. So far, they've taken classes on the APS budget, graduation requirements, homework tips, and even healthy meal preparation. They say all of it has made a difference for their kids.
It gives them more confidence, knowing that we're part of their education and that we really care about their education.
Research shows that when parents are involved in their child's education, the child tends to be more successful in both school and life. And so the whole idea is through the school to get more parents engaged.
APS officials say that parent feedback helped prove the success of the program, as well as speaking with the principals from each school.
They said that the parents that went have stepped up in leadership roles in their schools, have really helped with their family engagement in their schools.
Next year, more parents will be selected to participate, and there will be classes open to all parents. They also plan to expand Parent University by putting it in 20 more elementary schools, plus 5 middle schools. Samantha McDonald, KRQE News 13.
Now, you can attend a public input meeting about Parent University this morning. It starts at 7:30. APS officials will present the report on the program and discuss changes possibly for next year. Seitel announced it is hiring more than 250 people, and it's at its Albuquerque call center. The telemarketing company says 150 of those jobs will be permanent. The rest will be seasonal. The company is holding 3 job fairs soon. You can apply also online. The information is on our website, krqe.com. Just click on KRQE on the story.